was that man? Mr. Todd Bowles. And he came to play with a great defensive game plan. Now check it out. Up top, you're going to see a corner blitz. In the NFL, we call that a cat blitz. The wide receiver usually say cat, 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 notifying the quarterback. And what happens is usually you can hit that wide receiver. What do the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do? They have a defensive player over the top, the safety, knowing that there is a void. I need to fill that space. Patrick Mahomes now dropping back, seeing the defender in his peripheral. And what do we see? A blanketed defense across the board. Patrick Mahomes, as we saw in this game, was running for his life. What does that force him to do? That forced him to make a great throw and forcing Tyreek Hill to make an even more spectacular catch. Now, if they have to do this to beat you, it's kind of hard to do this play after play after play. And shout out to Antoine Whitfield. They probably told him, hey, never give up on the play. Forget about coming up and guarding Patrick Mahomes. Stay with Tyreek Hill. And he chucked up the deuces later in the game. All right, 3rd and 6 now. This is right before half. Now, Mahomes, he's going to be looking for Tyreek first. I want you to pay attention to the bottom, though. Why? Because Travis Kelce is running a route that we saw before. Do you remember that Browns game where Travis Kelce runs a great route on Denzel Ward? This is the exact same play.
You're right, Nate. Same spot of the field, too.
Now, check it out. It actually works, right?
Yeah.
He's open. So you're sitting back saying, well, Nate, why didn't he get the ball? Look at Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
He's about 20 yards away from the line of scrimmage. I don't know if you guys heard this stat, but I love repeating it because it's unbelievable. Patrick Mahomes rushed for about 36 yards in this game. He scrambled for 612 yards. Scramble. We're talking about sideline to sideline running for his life and running backwards, as we saw right there.
This isn't even a blitz.
It's not even a blitz.
They just sent 4.
It's just sent 4 and guys beating the dude in front of them. And they move individuals around to create certain matchups. Okay, let's move this along. This is 3rd and 7. Bucks playing 2-man. Safeties getting extra depth because what happens? The Chiefs love to take shots down the field. Travis Kelce, he falls out of his break, slips, which makes it easy. Now, who's that on the bottom? And Ndamukong Suh, who is now a Super Bowl champion. He is pushing the pocket, collapsing it, making it uncomfortable. And what these guys kept doing, the engine remained on. Regardless of where Patrick Mahomes is, you keep your feet moving in order for Patrick Mahomes to keep retreating. If he's retreating and spinning around, running all around, he can't square his shoulders, set his feet, and make the throws he wants to. He gets this ball out a little late. And who's right there? Lavonte David. And listen, he didn't put the back arm around him and wrap him up. A perfect PBU, clinic tape. Shout out to Lavonte David. All right, let's move this along, though. Now, by the end of the 3rd quarter, the pressure was immense. The coverage became tighter, and Patrick Mahomes was running all over the place. Simple route concept, literally trying to get something going. Again, you have Lavonte, one-on-one with Kelce. Patrick Mahomes, they're only rushing 4. There is 5 guys blocking 4 dudes. What does that typically mean? That usually means your quarterback should be able to step up in the pocket and make the throw on time.
Got a pretty good pocket here.
Pretty good, but look where his feet are, Kyle. Yeah. Look at his feet. He tries to step up. His right foot can't even get off the ground. Literally almost sweeping him off his feet like he's falling in love. And Travis Kelce trying to make an unbelievable catch. A ball that's slowing away. Lavonte David once again making a play on the ball. Now, there was all these jokes when Todd Bowles was the coach for the Jets, right? Everybody was smoking bowls like Cheech and Chong. But no, Todd Bowles showed up big and created a game plan that was the most perfect game plan for an offense that seemed unstoppable. We have complimented the Chiefs for the last 3 years, and rightfully so. They have been really good. But I believe that this is the best game plan we've seen up against Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, Patrick Mahomes, and that high-flying offense. And not only that, it could be the blueprint to stop these guys moving.
Blueprint's a big word. It's a big word. What's the biggest lesson you think other teams can learn from what Todd Bowles and the Bucs did?
It's almost like a CrossFit workout. It's muscle confusion. So you don't do the same thing. If you look at how they brought pressure, they brought it from various ways. Corner coming off of the backside. You have the lineman moving around. JPP was on the outside, and then they move him inside to match him up with the guard. It was all of these different ways to create the same type of pressure from different looks. And with the inexperienced offensive line, it confused not only that offensive line, but also Patrick Mahomes. And it forced him to do too much.
Yeah.
If you put him in that position, it looked frantic, which was most of the game for the Chiefs offense.
You know why I don't believe in the blueprint? Because Bowles gets a ton of credit, but I'm seeing a ton of personnel in these plays. Like, talent. Levante was incredible guarding Kelsey. A lot of people try to guard Kelsey. That, with respect to Bowles, had little to do with him and more to do just with their personnel, which was incredible. So I don't think other teams have Devin and Levante in the middle. I think they could have the same scheme, but they couldn't execute.
But maybe it's not a blueprint of X's and O's. Maybe it's a blueprint how these teams build, how these squads build their team out.
You're right.
If you're looking in the draft, looking in free agency, saying, okay, we don't need a high-flying offense. Maybe the misconception is we need to build an offense that can put up 50 points.
You need linebackers that can run, too.
Yeah.
And that was a big part. And you need a secondary that plays as a cohesive unit. And they had a lot of young guys who were not playing that way early in the season. This is where I'm going to kick it back to Bowles. He spent a lot of time with these young guys individually early in the day. I'm talking 5 a.m. when we're having our meeting for this show.
Yeah.
Well, not today, but ordinarily during the season. He's having the meetings with the young guys.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Speaking to them individually so that later when they talk as a group, they're all together. They're all speaking the same language. So when the corner blitzes, the safety's coming up and filling that role there. You saw that. They were that way the entire postseason. I said on the air, I thought their secondary was going to be their weak point in the offseason. Those guys were their strong point because they were tested. And they answered that test because of these meetings that they had with Bowles, the studies they did on their own. They were playing as a cohesive unit. You need that to be able to execute that.
This may be rhetorical, but what is the weak point of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense or defense or special teams?
Name one thing. It was supposed to be the secondary, but the secondary came up huge. Look at what you're
One of the seasons was supposed to be the quarterback, right? Because he was too old.
They don't. They just beat Breeze and Rodgers and Mahomes. Like, they don't have a weakness right now. Their kicker is good. Everything's good. They're like a perfect team right now.
On that last play, you said he has a clean pocket, and he does. Like Mahomes, it's like perceived pressure that wasn't really there. So when we talked about the other day about the receivers dropping and Kelsey had drops, like even there, as a fan, but also like you've played football.
Sure.
What does that boil down to? Do you think he was seeing things that weren't there? Kelsey, I'm talking about.
Kelsey or Mahomes?
Both.
Sometimes I think the pressure was genuine because it's perfect in that segment, Nate, where I was like, oh, look, he's got a perfect pocket. And then like a half a second later, like his knees were almost taken out for him. So, look, I don't think Mahomes panicked. I think he was genuinely pressured. And I think he spent what was the stat? He ran for 600 yards or something like that?
Kelsey was open there and it was a clean pocket. I'm just trying to figure out how that happens. It's never happened really. We've seen all season long.
I don't know either. I think that the pressure came in really quickly. And then there's some times Mahomes did make incredible plays. And the guys dropped them. Like, we can talk all day about that Tyreek play. Tyreek blew that play.